We are going to get started. So, hello. If I have not met you yet, my name is Katie Powell. I am a well-being consultant here at Care First and a certified health education specialist with a deep passion for health education. I hope everyone is having a healthy start to their summer. I hope the weather is warm and the sun is shining and everyone is doing well. If you were here with us in April, you know that we focused on mental health. It was Mental Health Awareness Month. This month emphasizes the connection between nutrition, sleep, and movement, all in supporting brain and emotional function. Um, as always, we want to remind you that this information is not to replace medical information. Always reach out to your primary care provider, as this presentation is not included to substitute that medical advice. I am so excited to share our topic. We have the mind maze, finding your way through. Oh, is that the wrong one? There we go. Cognitive Vitality, your guide to healthy aging. Perfect. Um, it looks like the wrong. There it is. Okay. Sorry about that. Cognitive Vitality, your guide to healthy aging. We have a wonderful guest speaker, which we are so very excited to have. Jacqueline is here with us. Jacqueline is a compassionate registered nurse with almost 2 decades of experience across acute care and care management settings. She's known for delivering patient-centered care. She has developed expertise in care coordination, chronic disease management, and interdisciplinary collaboration to improve health outcomes for diverse patient populations. Jacqueline began her nursing career initially working in a hospital setting, providing direct patient care to those who often had multiple chronic conditions. During those early years, she frequently observed individuals returning to the hospital repeatedly, which sparked a desire to focus her work on prevention and support in the outpatient setting. She transitioned to supporting Care First members 10 years ago, where she is dedicated in helping those with complex healthcare needs. In her current role, she leads a multidisciplinary team of nurses, care coordinators, and community health workers, guiding efforts to improve access to care, reduce avoidable utilization, and enhance the overall patient experience. Together, they focus on improving health outcomes, coordinating care, and helping members navigate the healthcare system more effectively. So, Jacqueline, welcome to Wellness Wednesdays, and thanks so much for being here.
Thank you so much, Katie, for the introduction. Appreciate it. So today I'm going to turn my camera off just so I can make sure you can hear me well. Okay, and I don't have any issues with connectivity. So today we're going to be going over touching on various topics, including focusing on foundations to build an understanding of brain health and aging, then lifestyle strategies, and finally, practical daily and long-term actions we can take to live a long life. Okay, what are your biggest concerns about maintaining brain health as you get older? Is it memory, focus and attention, mental speed, mood and stress, or maintaining independence? You should see a poll pop up on your screen. Please, please, please complete it. Give everybody a few more seconds. It looks like things are starting to slow down. Do you want me to end the poll, or is Katie, are you going to end the poll?
It's ended.
Okay, thank you. So it looks like memory as I'm leading across the group here. So let's dive right into things and talk about the basics of brain health as we age. What is brain health and why is it important? The brain is the body's control center. It acts like a command center that receives information, processes it, and sends signals out to keep everything working properly. More simply, it takes information from your senses, so what we see, what we hear, feel and smell and taste. It makes decisions based on this information, like reacting to danger or problem solving. It controls your body's move. It controls your body, like the movement, your speech, your heartbeat, your breathing, and it maintains thoughts and emotions like memory, learning, mood, and personality. Here's a simple analogy. Think of the brain like a computer or conductor of an orchestra. It coordinates all the different parts together so it's working smoothly. The great part about a healthy brain is it does this even without us having to think about it. So brain health is important because it supports memory, thinking, and learning. It helps regulates emotion and mental health. It improves decision making and problem solving. It maintains focus, attention, and productivity. It reduces the risk of neurological and mental health disorders and supports overall quality of life and independence. Nearly 9 out of 10, oops, I was going to read that quote there. Nearly 9 out of 10 adults in the United States say maintaining brain health as they age is very important, yet only 1 out of 10 know how to maintain brain health. Okay, next slide. Okay, the science of cognitive vitality. So cognitive skills include memory, attention, processing speed, flexibility, and mood. Cognitive vitality is the mental energy that supports learning, adapting, and engaging in life. It is key to quality life and healthy aging. While some changes, like slower processing, are normal, significant decline is not inevitable. Let's go over the major lobes of the brain. There's the frontal lobe that controls decision making, planning, problem solving, personality, and voluntary movement. There's the parietal lobe that processes sensory information such as touch, temperature, and spatial awareness. There is the temporal lobe that handles hearing, language, comprehension, and memory formation. And then there's the occipital lobe that's responsible for visual processing, including learning shape, color, and motion perception. Okay, next slide. We're going to touch on the brain across the lifespan. I'm going to kind of break it down just into kind of 4 different age groups and just kind of go over how the brain structure and kind of how it functions. So the first is the childhood. We're going to go from birth to about 9 years old, the brain in that section. The brain is rapidly growing, it's reorganizing, it's strengthening, and it's using neural connections while pruning the unused ones to improve efficiency. That's why it's so important to monitor for milestones in babies and intervene quickly while the brain is developing those connections. The next age range is about like adolescence. We're going to talk from like 9 years old all the way to 32. So the brain during those phases, the brain connections are becoming more efficient and specialized. It's supporting higher thinking and development, but also there's increasing vulnerability to mental health issues. I mean, think about when you're younger, at that age of 9, the schoolwork's starting to get harder. You're stepping into the 5th grade, middle school range, the work's getting harder. But the age group is still maturing that frontal lobe in their early years, which is important to decision making that you need to head into adulthood. So during adulthood, so we'll say about 32 to 66 age range, the brain reaches stable, mature structure and operates at peak efficiency. This is the longest stage. The brain is fully done growing, and this is where the brain structure is functioning at its best. Okay, and then we're talking about the early aging phase of the brain, which is about 66 to 83. So brain connectivity begins to decline, and changes in structure can increase the risk of cognitive and health issues. In this phase of life, the brain is shrinking in some areas, and some may begin to notice changes but still compensate well. Chronic health issues can impact the brain, and that's why it's so important to take care of yourself all along the journey of life. And then there's the late stages of the brain, and that's about 83 plus. Changes to the brain accelerate. There's a more noticeable decline in neural connectivity and cognitive function. The brain is now processing at a slower rate. Some may notice delay reaction times and not moving as fast as they used to, or changes could be creeping with their mood because the neurotransmitter levels are starting to diminish. Next slide. Okay, our brain as we age. As the brain ages, it can impact everyone differently. There are cognitive changes, which impact our ability to affecting memory, reasoning, attention, and decision making. Not all of these changes are negative. Cognitive changes, such as older adults having larger vocabularies and greater comprehension in the meaning of words than their younger counterparts, is something positive. Also, there's an increase in knowledge and experience. We have much better decision making. I'm sure we can all think of a time in our adolescence or young adult years where we had some great idea and we thought at the time it was perfect and let's do it. But now we would even cringe at the thought of doing something like that because our brains have grown, and matured. There's structural changes. There's alteration in the brain's physical structure, such as the size of the brain, the volume, and organization. There is neuronal changes. There's modifications in the neurons and their connections, including communication patterns and connectivity. It takes a little longer to organize ideas or answer questions. I think of it like the game show Family Feud. Like we may not be the first one to the buzzer at this age range, but you still have the answer. It's just not there as quick as it once was. And then there's also chemical changes, variation in the brain's chemicals, the neurotransmitters that influence mood, behavior, and cognition. We're at increased risk for depression, anxiety, irritability, mood instability, and sleep disturbances as we age. Okay. The role of neuroplasticity in the brain. Neuroplasticity is the process by which the brain forms new neural connections. Neuroplasticity helps strengthen communication between brain cells, support learning and memory formation, improve problem solving and cognitive function, help the brain adapt to new experiences and environments, and build cognitive reserve, which may help against cognitive decline. Next slide. There's normal aging versus the disease of a brain. So understanding the difference between normal aging and disease can help individuals seek evaluation and early support, leading to better treatment, outcomes, options, and quality of life. So with normal aging, there may be occasional forgetting of names or appointments, slower recall or processing, taking longer to learn information, mild changes in attention or multitasking, but remaining overall independent in daily activities. With a diseased brain, there's more serious cognitive changes, which may indicate conditions like Alzheimer's disease or other forms of dementia. Those would include frequent memory loss that disrupts daily life, confusion with time, place, or familiar task, difficulty following conversations or instructions, or poor judgment and decision making. Now, I also want you to keep in mind, just because you could be experiencing one of these signs of disease, it doesn't necessarily mean it's Alzheimer's or dementia. It's important to speak to your doctor about the symptoms because there's organic causes, things like a urinary tract infection, diabetes, and other conditions that can impact the brain, but they can be reversed or managed with treatment. So I always want you to talk to your doctor if you're experiencing anything like that. Okay, let's play myth or fact. Only older adults can develop Alzheimer's disease. Your quiz should be popping up on the screen now, so please take your moment to complete that. It looks like we're leading the way with that's a myth.
I'll end the poll.
Thank you. Okay. Okay, only older adults can develop Alzheimer's disease. We have again a myth. Thank you for participating. We have 100% participation. That is awesome. Are we able to go to our next myth or fact?
We just completed the myth or fact about older adults and Alzheimer's disease.
Mhm. Do we have a couple more of them?
The next one is, which habit do you think has the biggest impact on brain health? Is that the correct one?
Oh no, my phone, it's not moving for me. I apologize.
Oh, that's okay. Are you supposed to advance, Haley?
Yep, this is the correct slide, so 13. We're on Alzheimer's versus dementia.
Sorry about that. For some reason, my poll wasn't skipping ahead. I apologize.
That's okay.
Okay, so let's go over we often confuse dementia and Alzheimer's interchangeably, but I want to go over the differences. So dementia is a syndrome, it's a set of symptoms. Alzheimer's is a specific disease state. Dementia can be caused by many conditions. There's vascular or Lewy body, but Alzheimer's is a label that we give to specific disease state of the brain. Alzheimer's has a gradual progressive decline, especially in memory early on. Dementia symptoms can vary on the underlying cause. It could be a quick onset or more gradual. And then dementia results from damage to the brain, affecting communication between the cells. Next slide. Alzheimer's accounts for about 60 to 80% of dementia cases. Remember, dementia is the group of symptoms. Alzheimer's symptoms worsen over time and can affect thinking, behavior, and daily life. As you'll see above, 67% of women are affected by Alzheimer's. Let's talk a little bit about why women may be more affected than men. So women tend to live a little longer. As we age, it's the biggest risk factor, and women tend to live longer, putting them at a higher risk. There's hormonal changes. Estrogen helps protect the brain, but after menopause, estrogen levels drop, which may increase our vulnerability to cognitive decline. There's brain differences. Some research suggests women may experience faster accumulation of Alzheimer's related changes in the brain. And there's also caregiving and stress factors. Women tend to be caregivers more often, which can lead to chronic stress and a risk for cognitive decline. Right. Next slide. Okay, here lays out the different stages of Alzheimer's. Let's go over the mild stage. It's kind of, again, this can mimic other conditions, so it's really important to discuss the symptoms with your doctor. It starts with memory lapses, forgetting names and recent events. There may be trouble with planning or organizing, but still independent with daily activities. Then there's the middle stage, the more moderate. So you're getting increased confusion and memory loss. There's difficulty with daily tasks. Things like finances and cooking may become troublesome. And then there's changes in mood, behavior, and communication. Then the late stage, which is the most severe, there's significant memory loss and loss of independence. You may see difficulty speaking, walking, and swallowing. In the late stages may require more full-time caregiving and support. Okay, now that we've discussed kind of the overview of that, let's discuss how we can help keep our brains healthy. Okay, let's do a knowledge check. What habits do you think has the biggest impact on brain health? Exercise, sleep, nutrition, social engagement, or all the above? I love that we have such an engaged audience. Thank everybody for participating in these polls. This is great. Okay, it looks like the poll is slowing down and 92% have picked all the above, which is correct. Let's dive into a little further so we can talk about ways to maintain our brain health and cognitive function. Well, first one, next slide, please. You can go to the next slide. Okay, there we go. Thank you. Physical activity is a cognitive necessity. It helps with the following things: increasing levels of protein that helps the brain grow and form connections. This is why it's never too late to begin physical activity. It should be something that you're going to discuss with your doctor on what type of exercise is most appropriate for you, but something as simple as taking the stairs instead of the elevator or parking further away in the lot gets your body moving more. You can start slow and work your way up to a goal. Increasing blood flow and oxygen to the brain, which helps executive functioning, such as decision-making and attention. There's also boosting mood helped by releasing endorphins, which regulate serotonin and dopamine. It can reduce anxiety and depression while promoting well-being. You hear people talk about a runner's high. This is from the burst of chemicals released from exercise. And then also strengthens areas of the brain, like the hippocampus, which is critical for memory. It improves memory, learning, problem solving, and emotional balance. Next slide, please. And just give me 1 second. I'm going to take a sip of water. This talking has my mouth dry. So, sleep and cognitive functions. I'm sure we can all think of a time when we didn't get the best night's sleep and how it impacted us. But continued lack of rest have long-term impacts. So there's impacts with the sleep stages and the brain function. The sleep cycle alternates between non-REM and REM sleep. Each plays distinctive roles in cognition. Non-REM sleep, especially the deep sleep and the slow sleep waves, that supports memory consolidation, especially factual memory. REM sleep is linked to emotional processing, creativity, and problem solving. There's memory and learning. Sleep strengthens newly learned information by stabilizing neural connections formed during the day. Lack of sleep impairs coding, which is the ability to form new memories and retrieve the stored information. Repeat sleep cycles throughout the night allow for integration of new knowledge with existing knowledge. Adequate sleep improves attention span, vigilance, and reaction time. Sleep deprivation leads to reduced concentration, slower processing speeds, and increased errors. Disrupted sleep cycles can mimic signs, symptoms of attention deficit. And there's also the executive function. The prefrontal lobe is responsible for decision-making, planning, and impulse control. It's highly sensitive to lost sleep. Poor sleep reduces judgment, reasoning, and problem-solving ability. There's also emotional regulation. REM sleep helps regulate the brain's emotional centers, the oblongata. Lack of sleep increases emotional reactivity, stress, and difficulty maintaining emotions. Chronic sleep deprivation is associated with mood disorders like anxiety and depression. Sleep helps with brain restoration. Deep sleep supports cellular repair and removes metabolic waste from the brain. Proper sleep cycles maintain neural efficiency and plasticity, which is our ability to adapt and learn. There is creativity and insight that's promoted by having good sleep. REM sleep promotes associative thinking and the ability to connect unrelated ideas. People often show improved creativity and problem solving after a full sleep cycle. There is long-term cognitive health. Chronic disruptions in the sleep cycles is often linked to cognitive decline and increased risk of neurodegenerative diseases such as Alzheimer's. Consistent sleep supports lifelong cognitive resilience. Next slide, please. Nutrition is key for brain health. The brain uses 20% of the body's energy. There is diet strongly influences. Let me get another drink. Hang on, guys. 1 second. Oh, this talking. Diet strongly influences brain function. The brain requires a constant supply of nutrients to support energy, signaling, and overall cognitive and performance. Macronutrients play key roles. Carbohydrates provide glucose for energy. Fats, especially omega-3s, support brain structure, and proteins supply amino acids for neurotransmitters. Nutrients affect mood and cognition. Diet impacts memory, focus, and mental well-being by influencing neurotransmitter production and brain processes. Healthy fats and micronutrients protect the brain. Omega-3 fatty acids and other nutrients help reduce inflammation and may lower the risk of neurodegenerative diseases. Overall diet quality matters. Balanced, nutrient-dense eating patterns support long-term brain health and optimal cognitive function. Healthy meals do not need to be plain and boring. There are simple recipes to keep things interesting and explore new ways to incorporate these items into your daily routine. Yes, yay for coffee. Increasing your brain power with mental stimulation. Mental stimulation improves focus, memory, and mental clarity. Think of it as if you don't use it, you're going to lose it. Keep the brain active. Regular mental challenges such as reading, puzzles, and learning new skills help maintain cognitive function and may delay decline. Lifelong learning matters. Pick up new hobbies, languages, or skills to strengthen neural connections and support brain plasticity. Stay socially engaged. Meaningful interactions with others can improve memory, mood, and overall cognitive health. There's a physical and mental connection. Exercise supports blood flow to the brain and enhancing memory and thinking skills. Routine mental stimulation builds resilience. Consistent cognitive engagement may lower age-related cognitive conditions. Variety is key. Mixing activities up. The creativity, the analytical, and the social will provide a well-rounded brain stimulation. Mental stimulation can increase cognitive by improving attention span, memory, information processing, and decision-making, factors that can all play an overall role in intelligence. Mental stimulation is likely an effective way to delay or prevent cognitive decline and lessen the severity of Alzheimer's disease. Next slide, please. Stress management and brain protection. Stress affects older adults more and can worsen health conditions. There's a hormone produced during stressful times called cortisol. As we age, this hormone can last longer in our bodies, slowing down recovery. I know when I'm stressed, I often have trouble remembering things or making decisions. It can also impact our ability to regulate our emotions. Long-term stress can lead to fast cognitive decline and increase the risk of Alzheimer's and dementia. Older adults also experience stress due to increasing health conditions and concerns. Poor sleep causing less restfulness and increased stress vulnerability. Life changes such as retirement, loss, isolation can create emotional strain. There's financial concerns like worries about money and healthcare, and there's less support. Social networks tend to decrease, and there's reduced coping skills as we age. Now let's transition to what we've learned so far, how it can affect the brain. We've already discussed those pieces. Now let's explore practical actions that can help keep our mind sharp. So there's practical daily actions for brain health. We want to aim daily for these actions. You can build resilience and routine as you age. All these contribute not only to a healthier brain, but an improved quality of life. We want to aim for about 150 minutes of activity movement weekly. It can be in the forms of walking, stretching, or light strength training. We want to train our brain. Do things like do puzzles, learn something new. Take about 10 to 15 minutes a day to do those activities. We want to eat brain supportive foods, leafy greens, berries, whole grains, healthy fats. Stick to a sleep schedule, about 7 to 8 hours every night, and try to do the same bedtime and wake routines. And then connect with others, call, text, or spend time with someone daily. Okay, next slide. And then we have habits that support healthy aging over time. These are impactful habits and goals that can help you as you age. But remember, it takes time and effort to build these habits. It's all about consistency rather than perfection. One thing we want to do, we want to try to reduce our daily stress and maintain stress levels. Things like deep breathing, meditation, or quiet time helps. It doesn't have to be long. It can be 5 to 10 minutes a day is enough to help impact this. We want to limit our harmful habits, things like reducing excess sugar, alcohol, and processed foods. Want to challenge your routine. Try a new hobby, a class, or learn a new skill each month. Stay on top of your health. Perform regular checkups with your doctor, maintain your blood pressure, and stay active. And then create consistency. Small habits done daily lead to long-term brain protection. And that about wraps up my presentation about brain health. I'm going to transition it back to Katie for Care First resources and the Wellness Wednesday webinar calendar. Thank you,
Yeah,
Katie.
of course. Actually, we have a couple questions, so would love to get your thoughts on some of these. Um,
Please. It's so hard to try to maintain the
yeah,
chat.
no, you're fine. I
There
was,
was great stuff popping up. I was like, oh, look at this. And I was
yeah.
like, ah.
Yeah, when I do it too, it's like try to keep your train of thought and also see these awesome questions. But we had a great
Yes.
question come in. Do you think the use of AI to do so many tasks for us that we used to do ourselves is going to be bad for brain health in the long run? What are your
Oh, great,
thoughts?
great question. We were exploring, AI here at Care First and how it can impact things. But I think with AI, you always need the human component of it. So like in my personal life, sometimes I like to lean on AI, but I think at the same time, I don't so much use it for finding the answer, but I also have the knowledge base that I want to put into the AI tool. So like I'm still using my brain and kind of getting the thoughts and processes of what AI can expand on that. I mean, I guess there could be some concern over time if like we rely completely on AI because our brains are going to definitely, not be as active and as used. So I think, there could be a case in the future if we totally go, all AI. But I think at the same time, like what I've learned about AI so far in my usage, it can have hallucinations. It can do things that you didn't expect it to do. So I kind of, you know, don't rely on it, but I kind of use it to kind of augment my thought patterns or kind of enhance what I want to learn, but not use it just to drive my everyday life. If
Yeah.
that makes sense.
And I think it's also really early to tell. So that's a
Yeah,
good question.
it's a great
Um,
question.
there was another good question. Do you think listening to a book still counts as reading?
Hmm. I mean, I
And
would say
I
yes and no. Like you're engaging your brain. You're definitely engaging your brain in that piece of like kind of actively taking in a story and kind of those imaginary and kind of picturing things as you're reading the book. But then I think there are components of that brain looking at material and processing in the brain that's also important. So I think it's good. I wouldn't ever discount somebody because I think that's a great outlet and a way to do things and have a hobby of reading a book. I mean, listening to a book, but at the same time, I would try to incorporate either puzzles or something else to do those connections between the eyes and the brain.
yeah, awesome. Another question, will incorporating healthy foods such as berries, healthy fats, whole grains help someone in the early stages of dementia, or do we think that that ship has sailed, so to speak?
I mean, I personally don't think it's ever too late to, adapt healthy eating habits.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a disease process in play already happening, so there is some things that's already happened. But I think any time that you can start healthy habits is never too late, and it can always be small. I always like tell my patients like start with just one serving of something. Just build it into your daily life. Don't try because I think when we try to go too far too fast, we burn ourselves out. So if we try to make every meal super healthy and try to do things we've never done before, it tends to overwhelm people and they fall away from it. But like building consistency and kind of moving along with incorporating more and more as you go, I think is super important. But I don't think it's ever too late to be healthy and try to incorporate healthy habits.
I'll take one more question. Do we know to what extent menopause plays a role in brain health, memory?
That's interesting because I don't know. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you all. I'm kind of in that age range where we're in the perimenopause stage, I'm in that, and it's just so much information. But I thought maybe it was just me because it was being targeted towards me. But how social media goes. But then I was talking to my mother, and she's way past that phase, and she's like, "It's so much about menopause and postmenopause and perimenopause." Like I think there's definitely like I personally see it. I'm seeing a lot of research about the impact of the brain. I know I mentioned here a little bit about estrogen levels and changes. So I think there is an impact to how that whole stage of menopause and perimenopause affects the brain. I think there's a lot of research that still needs to be done. I think women's health doesn't get as much research, but I think now it's starting to gain momentum and I'm excited to see kind of how, research will show the impacts of menopause to the brain.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your expertise. A question that I can answer, and we've gotten many times, is will we be able to share out these slides? Absolutely. Jacqueline has done a beautiful job with putting all this information together, as well as our core team. So we will send out the slides, a wrap up, as well as the recording if you wanted to listen to it. It usually takes about a week to a week and a half to get everything packaged up and through kind of marketing. So just hang tight, but it is coming to you. I will take us through the rest of Q2 into Q3. So the weather's getting warmer, summer is starting. It's a great time to pause, to check in with ourselves, and to maybe even reset before the season fully gets underway. Obviously, in June, we just focused on brain health in recognition of Alzheimer's Awareness Month. We explained the ways to support memory, cognitive function, and healthy aging habits. Next month, we'll shift our focus to sun and skin safety. We will focus on protecting our skin, which is the largest organ of our body, understanding UV exposure, and building healthy habits for time outdoors as the summer continues. And of course, we'd love for you to join us in our next Wellness Wednesday webinar. As always, Care First provides as many tools and resources, programs, and support opportunities as possible. Depending on your account or your employer, you may have access to Care First Wellbeing, which is your go-to solution for everything health and wellness. Within Care First Wellbeing, you have the ability to take the Real Age Health Assessment test to identify how old you truly are, your body's true age compared to your calendar age. There's also, based off the real age, it becomes an individualized, tailored user experience. So everything you see in the Care First Wellbeing app is now more tailored to you, the user. It now knows your health, your well-being, your health interest, history, etc. Within Care First Wellbeing, there's also a personalized health timeline, tracking capabilities, ongoing challenges to keep you engaged. There's a personal and confidential health profile section, as well as our core programs. Our core programs include health coaching, both lifestyle management as well as disease management, weight management and diabetes prevention programs, tobacco cessation, financial well-being, and a discount program. Because we have focused on brain health, we did want to call out two specific programs available through Care First Wellbeing. The first is Unwinding, which supports brain health by helping to regulate stress, improve sleep, and build stronger emotional control. Key factors that will protect cognitive function and promote long-term mental resilience. And then we also have the Inspirations program that supports brain health by combining mindfulness, movement, and restful experiences so that we can reduce stress, improve sleep again, and promote mental clarity and relaxation. And last but not least, we want to call out that we have additional Care First resources available for you. We have a Care First preventative care section where you can look at the latest and greatest guidelines for preventative screenings and services. We do also have a robust health library, care management programs for those with complex healthcare needs, and we have behavioral health support as well, which can help keep your mind healthy by making it easier to get help that you need, regardless of it's something like managing stress or improving your mood or getting support during a crisis. Would like to thank everyone so much for their time today, especially Jacqueline for that amazing presentation. We are so thankful that you have joined us for this Wellness Wednesday. We wish you a happy and healthy June, and we can't wait to see you back here in July. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you for having me. Have a great day, everyone.
Bye.